Alright, this is 20 minutes till dawn, and I want to use it to talk about natural synergies, and why they're cool, and what I mean by that. So obviously synergies are just two things that work well together, and by natural synergies I mean as opposed to forced ones, as opposed to artificially created ones. So this game actually has a synergies option on the menu, which will tell you about special case really like combinations. So you put these two things together. If you get Vengeful Ghost perk and the Scythe Mastery perk, you get a different new perk called Summon Mastery that does those things. Now those things are like thematically related to Vengeful Ghost and Scythe Mastery, but they're not a natural consequence of those two things together. So that's an unnatural synergy. What I'm talking about is a natural synergy, which is Vengeful Ghost and Scythe Mastery probably are good together in some ways that I don't know, because I don't know exactly what those two things are. And this game actually, despite this long list of artificial synergies, which are probably very powerful and cool and everything, to me the natural synergies in this game are why it's interesting and cool. So it's a Vampire Survivors-like. It seems very directly inspired by Vampire Survivors, like tons of really specific things are lifted straight from it. But it's got some differences that I'll get into that in a bit. But since this upgrade menu has popped up, I'll talk about what we have here. So one of the key things is that you always have a single primary weapon, which is always a gun of some kind. Some of the guns are a bit, well, some of them are bows, but the important thing is the game treats them all as guns, and that's important because it means they all share properties. So I've got an upgrade here that increases bullet damage and knockback. Even if I had a bow, there would still be an upgrade for bullet damage. Even if I have a flamethrower, there's an upgrade for bullet damage. If I have a grenade launcher, there's an upgrade for bullet damage. Those are consistent and universal. In fact, I think every perk you can get from these menus is universal. It doesn't matter what weapon you brought in. And so they have to make sure every upgrade here, can apply to every weapon. It doesn't have to be good for every weapon. And things like fire rate and bullet damage and knockback have kind of different importances? Have a different importance depending on what kind of weapon you've picked. These two aren't that different, really. But I'll pick fire rate, I think, because, I don't know, maybe you haven't been seeing this game long enough to notice it, but that fire rate is noticeably better. I have a 6-shooter, so every 6 shoots, every 6 shoots, I'm sticking with that. Every 6 shoots I must reload, as in the Wild West. And that, first of all, you aim and reload in this game manually. Sorry, you don't have to reload manually. But unlike Vampire Survivors, where everything is automated, it is a game that wants you to decide who to shoot and when to reload, and also just when to fire, even if you didn't have to reload. Because you slow down when you fire, that means there's a sort of tactical decision to when to fire. And reload timing is a big deal. So you obviously want to spend as little of your time reloading, as much of it shooting as possible. I found you basically can hold down fire, depending on the weapon, but most weapons you can just hold down fire pretty safely, and you might be playing slightly less efficiently than if you're timing every shot and thinking about when to reload, but not that much. And okay, so this one has bullet speed. Now bullet speed, and it narrows your spread, so it makes your gun more accurate. I never really saw the point of bullet speed when I was first messing around with this. Hitting the enemy sooner is good, but if they're far away, then it's less important to hit them sooner, right? Because they only really hurt you when they get close. But it gets more interesting because some of these guns have limited range. And I noticed there's no upgrades to range ever. And then I realized, speed is range. The bullets basically have a lifetime. And so if you make them go faster, they also go further. I need to get through an upgrade screen one more time, because actually there was something on that last one I should have pointed out to you, but I now want to talk about and now I can't show you. I've got, I don't know, this build is nothing's come together yet, but let me see, did we get anything that helps me make my point? This one is interesting. So every second shot, cooldown lightning to strike a nearby enemy for 22 damage. So I have 6 shots in a magazine. That's going to happen 3 times every clip. And that's pretty good. There's a bow, which is like a slow-firing single-shot weapon. And so this is less good on that, because you're firing fewer shots overall. The shots might be more powerful, they can penetrate people, go through multiple people, but you're just going to be making less lightning happen. With a 6-shooter, you get a pretty good payoff for that. But what I really want is a power that triggers when I reload, because there are a bunch in this game that that trigger either on reload or on the last shot in the clip, and that didn't seem that great to me. Yeah, here's one. So Aero Magic. When shooting out your last ammo, also shoot out a Gale of Wind. A Gale deals 10 damage every 0.5 seconds. Like, compared to that lightning thing, I think the lightning was like 12 damage every 2 shots. This doesn't seem great, right? It seems like, okay, but just on the last shot, I was playing this is the default character and default weapon. And I never took it because it just didn't seem like it would trigger that often. In fact, there's the first one. So, yeah, it's alright. And they persist for a while, so it's not like a useless upgrade. But it gets a lot more interesting when you start to play around with different weapons. So, these 2 upgrades, remember the lightning every second shot and a whirlwind every time you reload. Honestly, this whirlwind thing is working out way better than I thought it would. But I didn't take it because it didn't sound good. Oh, here's another one that actually is very useful for making my point. Double shot. So, an extra projectile. This is a 6-shooter. It's a pistol that fires 1 projectile normally. If you add 1 projectile to that, you get double the output rate. So that's amazing. It had a downside, like, I think 10% less damage, which obviously pales in comparison to just having 2 bullets, which are just, they both do the same damage as the original. Sorry. They now do 10% less, but it doesn't like split the damage between them or anything. You are getting 2 bullets, and it's only costing you 1 ammo, so it's more ammo efficient. So that is just basically a great thing. And actually I killed that boss really fast, so that is proving my build is pretty good. I don't care about this. I don't think bullet speed makes any sense for me. Max ammo +1, that's another interesting one. So we've got 6 bullets, +1 is a significant improvement, but not dramatic, I would say. This makes me go faster. Actually, you can see my build is really kind of kicking off now. Actually, it feels pretty good. I didn't have a lot of builds that sort of felt good when I was playing with this character, but I'm going to let myself die because I want to show you the other options. I can't die. I'm just leveling up too fast. So far, not a lot of natural synergies. But this is kind of the default character, so it isn't the one where any particular upgrade really kicks off. So let me show you. I think I'll just stick with the same character. No, you know what? I'm going to change character because there's one that has an on-reload power. On reload, create a black hole that pulls in nearby enemies. Quite cool for the 6-shooter. That could be useful. But the second weapon that I unlocked anyway was the shotgun, which fires 4 projectiles, only has 2 rounds in the clip. I'm just going to call everything clips, even though that's not technically what a shotgun would have. It's obviously like a double-barreled shotgun, so you're just shooting both barrels. So you only fire 2 shots before you reload, which means you're doing a lot more reloading than you are with the pistol, which is bad, except that if you have a load of on-reload powers, I've accidentally left it on darkness too. It automatically defaults to the highest darkness you've unlocked. So this might look worse. But that black hole thing is going to happen every single time I reload, which is every 2 shots, which is actually a lot. And so there's all these natural synergies that come out of that fact that every weapon has the same governing stats. That it's all about clip size, it's about reload speed, it's about damage per projectile, it's about number of projectiles fired, it's about spread. Did I get anything that actually does synergize well here? Knockback's pretty good for a shotgun, obviously, because they get close to you and you want to get them away from you. I think the frost thing is probably the best here. Your bullets have a 35% chance to inflict freeze for 3 seconds. So I wouldn't call this a great synergy with the shotgun especially, but I am firing 4 bullets per shot. So if all of them have a third of a chance to freeze something, then there's a pretty good chance I'm going to freeze something each shot. Hasn't happened yet, but it could happen. And of course, the black hole thing, I picked a character that creates the black hole, then I picked the weapon of the shotgun. So it's totally up to you how you mix and match the weapons and the powers. And as you can see, having a black hole cluster people together and then having a shotgun to kind of hit them all at once is a nice little natural synergy as well. But what I'd really like on this run is some stuff that triggers on the last hit. So this is another on-hit thing. I'm going to show you a weapon in a minute that really synergizes with those. The reload rate reduction is especially good for shotgun, I think, because you are spending kind of half your time reloading to begin with. So I think we should feel that. Yeah, it's a little better. And overall, I think my DPS probably just jumped 20%. I guess maybe 10%. If you reduce the dead time by 20%, then I don't know. Yeah, the black hole thing and the shotgun synergize well. Here we go. Shooting a last ammo, I'll shoot 3 additional ice shards that inflict freeze. And here we have the +1 projectile thing. Now that matters a lot less to me now, because I've got 4 projectiles per shot anyway. So, like, this is 20% better. Increases the spread. My spread's already quite wide. I don't really want it to be wider. And then losing bullet damage is pretty bad. So, I definitely want the ice shard. Shooting my last ammo, I shoot 3 ice shards. I only have 2 rounds per clip, which means that, like, every other shot, I'm going to fire 3 of these things. So 3 of the 5 things that I fire each clip are going to be these ice shards for free. And this is when the game like got fun for me, because I was a bit skeptical of it at first. Like, Vampire Survivors, to me, like, part of the point is that you don't have to aim and shoot, and the fact that they've added all these extra considerations of like, oh, when to reload, when to let go of fire. You know, if I get into a situation where there's a lot of experience lying on the ground away from me, I might want to let go of fire just to like rush over there and pick it up. I haven't given myself a great opportunity to actually do that here. They're all in this one clustered space. Yeah, and I wasn't super clicking with it. And then I unlocked the shotgun, and I realized how like every single upgrade to your gun has a different meaning and a different value with the shotgun, and quite radically different. Like all the on reload stuff that I just dismissed before, suddenly that was gold dust. Of course, I want everything that's on reload or on the last shot, which is kind of the same thing. All that stuff feels like so good. It feels like you're kind of cheating. And that's the magic of a natural synergy to me. Like, if you can make it feel like you've broken the rules somehow. Like, that's one of the things that first appealed to me about Slay the Spire, is when you get a good build, you feel like you're cheating. You feel like you've kind of broken through. It's like an exploit. It's borderline, shouldn't be allowed. But then, of course, Slay the Spire and this game are designed to sort of require you to find something like that. Actually, Monster Train's a great example of that. Like, even more so than Slay the Spire, Monster Train allows for crazy synergies and then scales up really fast, so that you, like, by halfway through, you better have found some kind of broken synergy, because there's no way a normal amount of damage is going to deal with what they're sending at you. Every second shot caught on lightning. So it sort of sounds good in the sense that I get 2 shots per clip, so it's going to happen every time. But I think that doesn't shake out as being especially good for the shotgun. I think rapid fire stuff is more their speed. Don't really like the lens. I think I'll just get like a summon, because there's all these things that kind of just orbit around you and hurt people. It's good for like when you're surrounded and you can't afford to fire in all directions at once. Or if you want to focus all your fire on a boss and there's some like little critter coming up behind you, it's not worth turning around to shoot it. And your summons can take care of that for you. Or you can specialize in summons and try and stack them all on top of each other. And there's stuff like there's a character who can kind of turn into a deer, and that deer counts as a summon. So if you specialize in summons here, then you can get the upgrades that globally affect summons, so then they'll be boosting your summons and yourself, which is another natural synergy. Yes, this is another great one. After shooting your last ammo, smite nearby enemies for 20 damage. The more on reload stuff I can get, the better. So that little like cling thing is the smite. I would love to get the Gale one. I think the Gale one's actually one of the best. I haven't gone super far with these builds yet. I actually, right after this, I unlocked the twin SMGs, and I found a ton of natural synergies for that. And those have been all my like crazy builds that have actually beaten the 20-minute version and started to go up in the darkness levels, which is darkness is kind of the equivalent of heat or ascension, depending on whether you're coming from a Hades or a Slay the Spire perspective. So a lot of my judgments of this stuff is based on initial impressions, which are always a little bit skewed. I really kind of like that though. Like my first times I find the shotgun reload synergies, they seem absurdly overpowered, and I'm doing amazing. And then a little while later, the stuff I've discovered with SMGs makes this stuff look pathetic. And then you kind of get the feeling like maybe there's other things out here that I haven't discovered yet that are going to be even cooler. Smite deals 10 extra damage for HP you currently have. 40 extra damage, sounds good. Yeah, this does feel like it's kicking off. The shotgun, it gets interesting when it offers you like +2 clip size to the shotgun, because normally that's good, and the fact that I have a small clip makes it, you know, a huge deal. It's double my capacity, whereas with a 6-shooter that wouldn't mean as much. But then I kind of spec'd into a lot of stuff that triggers on my last ammo, and like the assumption built into all of that was that I'm going to be reloading a lot, and so if I increase my clip size, I'm reloading less, and all that stuff triggers less. But then I'm getting much better fire rate, and even just increasing clip size by itself feels like a natural synergy with shotgun, because its fire rate is good, you know, given that it's high damage. If you could fire, you know, a 20-round clip at that speed, you'd be doing crazy DPS. So there's kind of a different kind of natural synergy you can go for, and I think it's pretty much either or, if you want to be like maximally efficient. I got the Gale thing. I'm happy with that. I was gonna like cut this run short at some point and switch to an SMG one to show you how that stuff plays out. But it depends how fun this build gets, because if I just start to enjoy it too much, I'll have to just keep on playing. This build feels chaotic to me right now. Like, everything's sort of dying all over the place. I'm not really focused on anything, and I'm just creating a lot of like havoc and just like all-round damage. Some of my favorite builds, some of the ones that really feel good and like come together real fast. Oh, here it is. Max ammo +2. Is that good? Unit rate actually goes up, so that's sort of, I mean, it's certainly positive, but doesn't make up for it. I think I would actually lose overall effectiveness with this, because I'd be triggering my Gales and my Smites and all that other stuff so much less. My bullets can fit Curse. Actually, I've already got the freeze thing, and now this one just cuts off 15% of their health, which is great, because I think that applies even if you like freeze them twice, they would then lose like 30% total. And yeah, like, obviously there's some of these are like pre-scripted synergies. Okay, this is where my terminology falls down. Wow, that was super quick to kill that boss. So yeah, what would you call... So a natural synergy is like, it comes from the fact that, you know, this gun reloads a lot, and there's a bunch of stuff that triggers on reload, therefore I'm using this gun, those things synergize naturally. Then the fake synergies, let's say, yeah, artificial synergies, are ones where, the game detects that you've got perk A and perk B, and then it grants you perk C in return. And I think Vampire Survivors synergies are kind of all like that, which is, I think, why this game is more exciting to me. I don't know if I'll end up playing it longer than I played Vampire Survivors, but it definitely... With Vampire Survivors, I didn't feel that much authorship in my builds. I was kind of just picking the stuff that from my experience so far, it seems like this weapon is a good one and these other ones are not good ones, so I'll pick the ones that are good. I wasn't doing that much thinking in terms of like, oh, in this particular run, in this particular situation, this build is going to be the one that will work. Obviously, if you have a ton of stuff that's area of effect, and then you find the passive that increases area of effect, you go for that. But mostly like the thing that gives you more projectiles, of course I want that. Whereas here it's much more bespoke, and I feel like I have to design my build. Yeah, I can't remember why. I feel like I started a sentence there that I didn't finish, but I've blanked on it now. So, oh yeah, yeah. Let me level up again, and I'll show you what I mean when I get there. Oh, I made it happen. So on the right here, let me find a good example. I suppose what I really want is like the Frost menu. So each of these upgrades belongs to like a category of upgrades. So this projectiles one, I might go for it. It's actually not crazy. If I get the double one, I wonder if yeah, if you actually play with mouse, you can see what they all are. So if I get double shot, that sort of doesn't necessarily unlock these two things, but these things could come up in future things. And then I think it's telling me I need to take both those upgrades in order to get this one. So that's a sort of forced synergy kind of thing. You need both of these to make this one available. And in this case, they're all to do with projectiles and just firing more stuff. In the case of like the Frost one, the first one would be actually freeze things. Then the other ones are things that do more damage to frozen enemies, or frozen enemies shatter on death, that kind of thing. Which are, those things synergize well together, but they're not the natural synergies I'm talking about. The natural synergies come from, it's almost as if they weren't designed to go together. They just happen to work together. Whereas, if it's like, if you have freeze, this thing benefits you, that's a kind of forced synergy. It's not quite the same type as the ones where you combine A and B and you get this new thing C. I think actually that's almost not a synergy. I would just say that's just kind of an unlock system. Whereas like, freezing opponents and then having something that benefits frozen opponents, those things synergize in a very forced way. And yeah, then the other stuff I'm talking about is just, feels more natural and more kind of emerging from the systems. This is actually probably the best thing I'm being offered. Oh no, killed by a summon. It's not bad. I think my Gales count as summons, so that's kind of nice. I hate this dragon egg. It's a nice idea. It does nothing for you for 3 minutes, then in 3 minutes it hatches a dragon, which would be cool if the dragon was like amazing. But the dragon is not that amazing, and then also it is the same color as the enemies, whereas most of the time this game does a good job of having like a clear color language of like the white stuff is your bullets and it's safe for you, and the green stuff is enemies and you've got to avoid it. But your dragon is green, and so I just keep thinking, fuck, there's an enemy really close to me, I'm trying to run away from it, but you can't. Fire rate's not a good upgrade for me because I only fire 2 shots per clip, so there's only the gap between shot 1 and shot 2 is the only thing I would increase there, and that's not that much of my shooting time. It's already pretty low. I think I might want this. I bullet damage -10 though, that's pretty bad. No, I don't want that. So I could actually go for... Oh, maybe I'll take this. So faster bullets and less spread. So you start to turn your shotgun into like more of a sniper thing. Not actually like a sniper rifle, but this whole tree is all about that, so... Okay, how can I... Oh, I guess I can click it. It's safe to click it and it won't choose it right away. So... Yeah, there's more damage, more piercing. Oh, this is actually the only one that increases accuracy, so I can't really spec fully into like a sniper rifle shotgun, which is a fun idea. But like speed and penetration and damage is all good. So yeah, I'll go down this route. Yeah, so it's hardly a sniper rifle, but actually that's quite good for my black holes. So my black holes cluster people really tightly, so I don't need the full spread. And the speed obviously is making this go further, so speed is also range with shotguns, which is nice. Which again, yeah, it's just a natural synergy. In fact, that's one where like it's almost to the game's detriment that they never tell you that speed increases range, because I don't know, I feel like it was a kind of game developer instinct of mine to think that might be the case and give it a shot. Because it isn't inherently... I don't know. I suppose in general with firearms, like the faster you shoot the bullet, the further it goes. But I was, I thought of it in terms of like, video games sometimes determine the range of a weapon by measuring how far the projectile has gone. Sometimes they determine it by how long the projectile has existed. And if it's done by how long the projectile existed, then speed would increase range. But if it's the other way, then it wouldn't. Don't want that. Move speed's nice. Oh. Deal double Gale's damage to nearby enemies every 2 seconds. And Gale's damage is increased by 5. That's great. That's actually... I'm just seeing the Gale range now of that pulse, and it's huge. I wouldn't even say those are nearby enemies. It's like almost everything on screen gets hit by that. I like the sort of secondary game that Vampire Survivors and this both have, of like figuring out what pattern to move in so that you pick up as many of the experience points that are being dropped as possible. It's sort of an interesting mix of old school and modern sensibilities, because the old school sensibilities I feel like are enemies drop, shiny things, and you've got to run over and pick them up before they expire, which I fucking hate. I really don't like, when you can lose out on loot for not running over and picking it up. You have to sort of do a little errand to get the reward that you actually already earned by killing the thing. So Vampire Survivors and this both have the philosophy of like, the experience is yours, it's there for picking up, so it will never expire it, so you never feel like you lose any, but at the same time you are missing out on a bunch of it, if you, especially, builds that kill everything around the edges of the screen. It's cool that you're killing things that far away, but all that experience is a long way from you, so you don't necessarily get it. With Shotgun, one of the first things I really liked about this build is like, you get up close, and the things you kill, you're mostly just grabbing the experience right off their body as they die. Curse might be interesting. I think my bullet damage is quite high. Oh no, it's actually not. I think it's lower than the 6-shooter. Maybe I'll just do the lightning. I'm curious, every second shot, so I think that's like, every 2 times I press the fire button, as opposed to every second projectile, which would be, I'd get 2 of them per shot. I think shot just means, when you press the button. I'll take summon damage, actually, because that might affect my gales. I don't know for sure, but it feels like they're summons, and I'm summoning something. Doesn't stick around for that long, but it's an object out there in the world. Alright, I'm only halfway through this run, so I think I'm going to kill myself so I can show you the SMG. And this build is, good. It's not great. I would love it to throw, another boss at me at this point to... there is actually a boss maybe around now. Oh, here we go! Haha! Perfect. So this boss charges at you, and if you're too slow in general, then dodging their dashes is hard. And actually, the real test this boss gives you, if you're not freezing them constantly, which is what I am doing, then the test of this boss is that you need to move laterally to dodge them, and you probably want to face them to shoot them. And so that means you're moving in a direction that you're not shooting. And for most of the game, you get away with just always moving the direction you're shooting. So if you have great forward firepower, then that's enough to keep you alive. But with this boss, it's like, okay, can you shoot at this thing and also move to the right and survive? And so all that stuff I've got that kills things, my gales are killing things passively. My gales are also doing a pulse of damage on everything around me. The more of that stuff you have, the easier this boss is, because it's easy to dodge them. Shatter is very good. I think I want that. So frozen enemies explode. Yeah, that's the charge. But, because... Oh no, shit, I got cocky. I was thinking, because so many of my projectiles freeze them, that I would be able to keep them frozen. So, I'm just going to look at these. Bullet bounce, I think that sort of, it bounces from one enemy to another. I don't really know if they seek other enemies, or if they just bounce in random directions. Summon damage... So that one, I've got lots of summons, so that's nice, but reload rate minus 50%? No thanks, that's serious for a shotgun. I think I'd probably just go for this. Because this reduces bullet damage by 25, which is not great. Since I'm not going to continue this run, I am just going to try the bounce one, because I never have tried this one. And it doesn't sound that great. I'm not even seeing that bounce. I'm not seeing that bounce at all. Maybe I need a bigger cluster of enemies to see it. Anyway, that is not a good upgrade. I won't get that in the future. Not with a shotgun anyway. So now I'm just going to kill myself to end the run. So yeah, I will just quickly show you what an SMG build looks like, because the SMG, I'll get up the description. I'm actually intentionally going to pick a character who synergizes well with it anyway. What does that thing mean? Is that the darkness level I've completed it on? Maybe. So yeah, this is 50% chance to call down lightning on impact. Every other shot pretty much. And then SMGs, 2 rapid shooting guns, upgrades apply separately to each gun. At first I thought that meant you were going to customize them differently, so one of them could do something different to the other, which I didn't want, and luckily that's not the case. It just means that this 50% lightning chance, I'm firing 2 shots each time, both of those shots have that chance. Triggers on shoot effects twice. On shoot. Let me just go back and check what that says. Your bullets have a chance on impact. Yeah, a lot of it's on impact, that's what I was thinking. I don't know how many effects have that on shoot thing, but anyway, it's basically it works the way you'd hope it would work, which is you get the benefit in any situation where there's a benefit that seems like it might apply, it does. So yeah, I'm just starting with the synergy here. I already have a thing that triggers on hit, and this thing hits a lot, so it triggers that a lot. And you have 24 rounds per mag, so in this one, a clip size upgrade isn't... It's nice, but it's not that significant. Stuff that triggers on the last round of the clip, useless, because that's once every 24 shots. I get to fire for a long time before I have to reload with this build. Lightning, I think, does some kind of splash damage, because later there's a perk to increase its splash damage. I can never really see what it's doing. Actually, that's one thing Vampire Survivors has that this could really do with is at the end of a run telling you which of your weapons did damage. Like these summons, I still don't really know which ones are good and which ones are bad because I can't see how much damage they're doing, and it doesn't add it up at the end. Getting an extra projectile. So this is what it's talking about, I think, when it says upgrades apply to each gun individually, because I've got 2 shots. You'd think this gives me 3 shots, but actually it gives me 4 shots. Pretty sure. Yeah, there you go. So each gun gets an extra projectile, which is a natural synergy. So, is it natural? They've obviously... Yeah, it is kind of natural. You've got 2 guns, and so when you get an upgrade that increases the doubles, that adds a projectile to your gun, it adds a projectile to both guns. Faster bullets, less spread. I did just increase my spread, so that's potentially quite good. Oh no, here's the one I want. Burn on hit. Or curse on hit. Curse's damage is proportional to your bullet damage. I feel like my individual bullet damage isn't very good, but then I'm applying it a lot, so maybe that cancels it out. But I think probably just the flat damage is better. Actually, burn is good because not so much for the damage over time itself, because in general damage over time is a bit slow for a game like this. Like when you want to kill something, you want to kill it now. But later there is a one of the things that the fire perk unlocks. There's another fire perk. Another fire perk where you can shoot out a fireball every like 5 shots or something. Which of course with a shotgun would be terrible. You have to reload like 3 times to reach fireball. But with this is amazing because you're firing a lot. I am sensing my overall damage is not great because I am struggling a bit here. I'm playing on a higher darkness level. That's part of it, and that's because I think that's because I have beaten it with this weapon / character combo. I'm not sure if the darkness levels are completely individual or not. I should actually focus on getting experience. Fire rate's great. Here's the fireball one. Every 5th shot launch a fireball. Yeah, we're doing that. Yeah, fair to say that improves things. The whole like aiming thing, I wasn't a fan of at first, and then I unlocked the shotgun, which, like I say, was good for a bunch of reasons. But one of them was that you don't have to aim as much, and I liked that level of interaction of just like, I've got to aim roughly where people are. The 6-shooter, you've got to be quite accurate. SMGs, like, I've made my peace with the aiming now, I'm on board with it more. And B, the SMGs are like a little bit rougher than the 6-shooter. I don't want that. Bullet damage and knockback does sound good. I'm firing a lot of bullets, so... Yeah, I think it's that. And knockback's nice just because I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed. My damage is not... Well, it's a lot better since that fireball thing. But yeah. The last run I did with this, it was with this lightning character, and then I got another lightning perk. Like the cause lightning, on every second shot, I guess it is. And then there's another one that, like, every time lightning hits, there's a chance it gives you ammo back. And then I'm firing this insane number of bullets, each of which can trigger lightning, and all of the lightning give me ammo back. I had something else, every time I pick up experience, there's a chance I get ammo back. And I had like 3 different ammo back powers, and it just got to the point where I couldn't run out of ammo. I could just hold down the trigger and I never needed to reload. And that was amazing. I think move speed is good at this point. I think I'll play to that horse boss and see how this build compares to the last one. I already think it's better, but actually we're playing on higher difficulty, so who knows. The first darkness level just increases the hit points of the basic enemies. I'm not... Oh shit, I might just die. I don't know what this one does. Maybe it increases the health of bosses as well, which could spell trouble. Fucking hell. Maybe they're faster. I'm just having a harder time staying away from them. Yeah, they're faster, I'm sure. I didn't know I'd engage... Oh shit. Oh, I'm gonna die. Yeah, this darkness level is not kidding around. I'm fairly new to this game, so I have not got all of the fucking strats down. I really want to focus on this boss, but I need everyone to leave me alone. Ugh. I don't like it. I like it when they're slower. Freezing would be good, because you know who's slow? Frozen people. And also because it's on hit, so yeah, just crazy high chance. Oh shit! That was very nearly death. Didn't notice that guy was explosive. Let me get some more XP. The sort of stuff I left behind earlier. And the fact that I've got a huge horde following me is not that big of a problem, I don't think, because the more clustered they are, the more efficient I am against them. Oh right, because I started the lightning perk. This is the other lightning perk. This is very bad for me now, the 3 shards on reload on last ammo, because I don't reload very often. Yeah, this is definitely it. There's always a fun moment in this game where you've been running away from big horde and then you realise, like, I think I'm powerful enough to run into this big horde. Where's the boss? I figured he'd be chasing close behind. Yeah, lightning's nice. Yeah, I killed him. Well, that was anticlimactic. Bullet damage. Ah, this one. Like, maybe... Last time I just left this, because I had tons of bullet damage by this point, and it didn't seem good. I don't think I've upgraded my bullet damage much, so maybe I go for the lightning and see how it feels. The lightning is hitting everything at once, which is nice. So now this exploding thing is a percentage of bullet damage, which I just reduced, so that's not great. I might get the run and gun, which just means that firing is a lot less of a slowdown. Yeah, the lightning is causing decent chaos. I don't think it's like a crazy huge difference. I would love some stuff that regenerates ammo at this point, because reloading is killing me. So this one increases my bullet damage and my bullet size. Size obviously just means you hit more stuff at once. I might take that. Glare is kind of good because I'm about to face that boss where I need to be able to move sideways to it. But also, facing a boss doing 45% more damage is pretty good. I think I'm going to do that. Fire rate, reducing fire rate, obviously bad, but it's not that bad because it reduces how much time you spend reloading. Is that right? I mean, like, proportionally, let's say you lost 5% fire rate but gained 5% damage. I think that's good overall in most situations because you get more bang for your buck, right? Like, each of your bullets is doing more, and so, like, each clip that you get through is very touch and go. Look, I think I'm going to die here. My build is not good at going sideways. Hey, I got the boss though! Oh, okay, I'm glad I got to this because this is very much the best synergy ever. Fire rate 66%, spread plus 60, which is insane. Bullet damage minus 50, knockback minus 95, but triple your max base ammo. That's the main thing. Is I'm just gonna have to reload so much less. And spread. I think with normal weapons that is just accuracy, but with the SMGs, it's how far apart you aim your SMGs, which looks insane, as you can see. So this is, yeah, it is a natural synergy. Oh god, another 25% fire rate. I don't know how percentages stack in this. In Hades, percentages stack in a non-intuitive way, where they're added together rather than multiplying. Because, you know, if you in real life, if you get 50% extra of this, and then another 50% extra of that, it's 1.5 times 1.5. It's not just 200. It's not just, double. I don't know how it works in this. Because if it does multiply in the natural way, then when you increase fire rate, you want to keep increasing fire rate, because the benefit you're getting is enormous. Oh, here we go. 20% chance to automatically refill 3 of your ammo. This is what I want. Maybe I finish this run. Because it's kind of fun now, isn't it? Watch my ammo and see if you spot it going up. It's not happening that much, to be honest. You can kind of see it skipping sometimes. I mean, it's a little bit hard to judge because I just went from 24 to 72. And that is the primary difference you notice. But yeah, you can stack a bunch of those refilling clip stuff on top of each other, and that is a beautiful thing when it happens. When you sort of get to the point where, like, it's not just that I'm reloading less, it's that I never reload. You feel like you've broken through some kind of, like, the sound barrier, and now everything's just, like, gravy. Additional bullet behind you is very good. Or fire rate. So fire rate, like I say, you get through your clip faster. Does this make it... Does this mean I have less bullets per clip? Is a key question. Because at first I thought, oh, if I get through my clip faster, that's bad, because I want more time for the clip to regenerate before it runs out. And so, you know, to a certain extent, a slower fire rate could, in theory, keep a sustainable amount of bullets in the clip such that you never need to reload, which would be better than firing faster, but sometimes having to reload. But then I realized, actually, all the stuff that refuels my ammo is triggered by shooting. So the more I shoot, the more that happens. So I think, like, it's probably not exactly the same, but I think this actually is good. But then shooting a bullet behind you, also good. I think I'm going to go for pure fire rate, just because I did the bullet behind you thing last time. And I like the sheer aggression of this. I would like to reduce my spread here. Like, accuracy is not important, but just the fact that I don't aim directly ahead is not great. Although the fireball thing kind of makes up for it, because I'm firing so many fucking bullets, I'm getting constant fireballs, and those fire directly forwards, even if my shots don't. Yeah, this is quite fun. I need that heart. Burn damage does not seem relevant at this point, does it? Bullet damage and piercing sounds great. This reduces spread, which I'd like. Piercing pretty good, though. Yeah, I've got the fireballs for straight ahead. Piercing something that you never really notice it, but definitely the tough moments of the game with mobs, that they are many, many entities deep, and so the more you're piercing, definitely the more damage you're doing. Because, like, right now it's not having that big effect, because I'm usually shooting at, like, a single monster thick circle of monsters. But once they get really dense, you notice it. Definitely on the freeze thing. These projectile shooting enemies are kind of a pain normally, because they're actually really tough. You can't tell because I'm chewing through them immediately. But yeah, they're hard to get rid of, and their projectiles, you know, can't be just shot away. Everything else in the game you just shoot away. I like how few enemy types there are. Vampire Survivors has tons of different looking enemies, but they're all kind of just a walking pile of hit points, except for a couple. Whereas this, like, if an enemy looks different, it's because it does something different. All lightning damage increased by 12, increased lightning area effect by 75, that sounds great. Additional bullet behind you, also great. Reduce spread, I can still get that, that's nice. Now, lightning damage, I have a big buff to it, don't I? More so than my other thing, so maybe I go for that. I think when lightning damage is high, you'll sort of just get this passive, like, everything's dying faster. Whereas when bullet damage is high, obviously the stuff you're shooting is dying faster. Oh, I had to reload then. I haven't done that in a while, I think. I don't think that lightning damage thing I just took is helping me get more reloads, get more free ammo, because I don't think it's triggering lightning any more often. But, yeah, it doesn't hurt. So reload rate, no. Enemy splintering sounds pretty good. I'm kind of going for no summons in this build. Do I have no summons? Yeah, that's unusual. But it's working out. This is only the 10-minute version. Obviously, the game's called 20 minutes till dawn. The real game is when you play the 20-minute version. But yeah, for the sake of this video, I thought it was better to do a shorter run. Ooh. So the max ammo, not a big deal with 72, but it doesn't hurt. Fire rate's great. Bullet speed is nice. Wow, inflicting burn, chance to heal me. I'm inflicting burn a lot, so that's actually pretty good, given that health has been a bit shaky. That's a tricky one. I think I probably just want the more damage. Pickup range might actually be the best one. I mean, especially early on, that's just a great upgrade because you're just going to level up faster. Maybe it's a bit late for it at this point. I think the increased fire rate's got to be where we go. Let's go extreme. Every now and then you might hear the fire rate kind of like almost trip over itself as it accelerates for a bit. That's a perk I've got that you can unlock these sort of talents, and one of them is like every 50 people I burn or freeze, I'll get a little fire rate boost. Oh yeah, I'm glad I didn't go for the healing one, because there's a heart right there, and it just doesn't feel like I'm going to lose another hit point, does it? Bullet bounce? I think it might be good. Do you think if my bullets bounce that they, like if it's a lightning bullet, does it hit lightning on everyone? Let's find out. I mean, I'm never going to be able to tell, am I? Look at this fucking mess. But yeah, this is actually not far off the crazy lightning build I was telling you about. That's, I guess, a question mark on this is how many of these builds are there to find? Like, there's definitely a ton more than I found, but there's always this awkward point sometimes in a roguelike like this, where you know a build that works great, and every build you get that isn't that, you just kind of think, I wish it was that, and then I think I gravitate towards that anytime I can. I suppose cursing them can't hurt. I mean, it can hurt them. Yep, it's officially got silly. My ammo's kind of at max most of the time now. I think that's probably as much a function of just how many enemies there are as anything. So I'm just getting to hit like all of my shots are hitting, so all of my shots are doing lightning, and well, a ton of them are. I just noticed there's damage numbers. I've never seen those before. They must have been there the whole time. Oh, that's good. So then, because curse is slow, but this kind of negates that, because as long as I hit them twice, I get some benefit from curse. And with this kind of fire rate, I probably am going to hit them twice. 44 seconds. I think I'm going to make it. Weirdly, there's no boss like near the 10-minute mark. It's just ends. And even the 20-minute one, there's a boss that's sort of like 16 minutes-ish. I wonder if they just wanted to make sure you had time to actually have to deal with the boss. Every 10 enemies afflicted by curse will increase your bullet damage. I haven't seen that one before, actually. I guess that's the final curse upgrade. You're going to get both the other two. It doesn't really matter at this point, does it? But the Ghost Friend's kind of nice, but I kind of like the idea of just never getting any summons. Fuck it, I'll take that. With 26 seconds left to go. You can't tell, but this would normally be an overwhelming horde. And I'm just kind of scything through it. They're kind of dying before they get on screen, a lot of them. There's still a little mini-game to be played here. Oh look, perfect end to the video. It's just given me an unnatural synergy. So when lightning strikes an enemy that's burning, create an explosion that deals 25 damage. That's like a special thing they've decided and designed and added specifically for that one scenario. So yes, it's a synergy. These two things, well, actually I think I argued it's not a synergy. It's kind of like an unlock. Because you've got these two things, you get this third thing. So yeah, lightning and fire are working together. It is interesting, isn't it? Like the terminology. This is the only thing that's called a synergy. Nothing else in this game is called a synergy. And yet I would say that all the other stuff is synergies, and this actually technically isn't a synergy. But maybe that's why you have to like give it a name at least. Let's see if in the 7 seconds we have left we ever see this kick off. It'll be like a red blast when it goes off. I don't think I've seen it. Maybe it happened, but I didn't see it. But yeah, that is what's cool about Natural Synergies.